I feel strongly that all religions and all spiritual dogmas and existential dogmas were never meant to be taken literally by the person who received the divine inspiration. Like I feel that they they all contain divine inspiration within them. Like there's all channeled information within them. In every single religion and existential and spiritual dogma there is divine inspiration within it. But that when we are channeling, when any human being is channeling information from realms that we cannot comprehend, it has to be put in such a way that we could comprehend it. Thus, it is never meant to be taken extremely literally as the only truth, and it is never meant to be taken as like super serious. You know what I mean? Like, it's never meant to be taken as like the way, the truth, and the light. I feel like they all contain a lot of like symbolism and metaphor within them. And I've said this a million times. I think that whoever is in communication and receiving information from realms that we can't comprehend, it's going to filter through that person's ability to understand their own biases, life experiences, etc., and the level at which it does so. Like there's a spectrum of how much gets filtered through their own biases, and that spectrum is how self-aware that person is, and nobody can actually know how self-aware the person that they're getting information from is, and thus like there's no point in taking outside information extremely seriously. You know what I mean? Like when it comes to outside information that is of like a spiritual or existential nature, there's literally like I feel like it does way more harm than good to take it very seriously or very literally. To me, it's like something to take into consideration or explore. Anyway, so I think I like to dip my toe into the dogmas and the religions. And I have a very investigative spirit and I like to go, what does this mean? I can never really know. I can never really know. Will I ever really know? Like, even when I die, I might not know, you know? Like, I feel like a lot of times we think that when we die, we suddenly know everything. And I don't, I'm starting, like, the last year or so, I've started to feel like this is kind of a assumption that a lot of people make as a coping mechanism for the existential dread that comes with the fact that we will likely never have certain answers to the nature of reality. And if not never, no time soon. Anyway, so I like to dip my toe in the waters of the dogmas and look for patterns and try to decipher things just because I think it's fun. And like one thing I noticed that I think if people were not so, and there's like a lot of people like me who think this way, who believe that all of these dogmas are just, and these like religions are just, they contain elements of divine inspiration and divine information within them, but they're not meant to be taken literally or seriously in any sense. Um, and that they all, and that like it's like more of a curiosity what's going on kind of game, right? Like there's a lot of people who feel that way, but there's also a lot of people who get really really attached to their one thing and like proselytizing that one thing, and so they don't have the awesome privilege of dipping their toe in the water of all the things with an open mind, not viewing it from a place of which one will I find to be my truth, but viewing it from a place of how do these things compare and contrast? Because when you do that, you end up seeing that the divine shares the messages. Like there's themes, strong themes within most of the dogmas and religions that are like a glue that holds the divine inspiration together. I very strongly feel. And it's just more about like, all right, there's a different seat for every ass. So I guess like, you know, these type of people are going to resonate with this type of information, or, you know, this culture is going to resonate with this more. So this is how I'm going to share it. And this is how they're going to interpret it, X, Y, and Z. And I do think that humans have a tendency to corrupt things, which is why I don't understand the obsession with information that was shared 3,000 years ago. How could that still apply today? In what way? No, I mean, we can get some things from it. Like, we can get some things from it, but I don't understand why anybody would think that information that was shared 3,000 years ago could be taken seriously in any way. Like the only way that I utilize it is like, let's compare and contrast with other things. Anyway, oh my God, ADHD tangents. So the most recent thing that I was like, oh, this is a juicy possibility, is I was looking into, and this is something that I've thought about before. I don't know exactly how to explain it yet, but I was looking into a little bit about Greek mythology and the story of like the boy gods that kill their sons. And you know, like I think, okay, listen, I'm ADHD, I can't remember names. I think it's like Uranus, wait, Kronos kills, or either Kronos or Uranus kill each other. One's the daddy and one's the son, and then they're supposed to kill like the whoever the son is. Then is supposed to kill Zeus because he's the next son, and then Zeus breaks the cycle. And I was thinking, like, what if the fucking metaphorical symbolism is not a bunch of separate gods? Like, what if it's like one entity or one prevailing divine archetype, and the message there is not like daddy kills son, kills son, kills son, son breaks cycle, but the message there is like avoiding a transformation, you know, like because I personally believe that this is my belief that the things that we call gods and like angels and demons and all this, they're just like probably one of the first reflections of the sentient ball of magic that we all hail from, and that's the only way I know how to explain it. And so I believe that even though it's going to be very different, like us, those beings also go through evolutions, and it's probably like more of like a trickle down effect where like they go through the evolutions, and then over the course of the next thousands of years it'll trickle down to us to where we start to go through those evolutions too, because we are little tiny fragments of them. That's how I feel. Anyway, so I was thinking about this story and I was like, what if this is like one the you know Kronos, Uranus, Zeus, blah blah blah. The next whoever's after that, he swallows somebody and breaks the cycle. I don't remember. What if it's not a generational familial thing, but one divine entity archetype going through a story of like avoiding metamorphosis and avoiding a death and rebirth, and then like eventually breaks the cycle by because I think he ends up swallowing. I want to say Athena. I don't remember that. Look it up. And breaks the cycle because she can't die when he does this. Like, it doesn't kill her. She's just reborn as something different, a little bit different or something like that. And like, what if that's like a metaphor for? Yeah, I was avoiding all these death and rebirths, and I did so in a way that was very hostile, toxic, and caused a lot of chaos. And then eventually, I broke the cycle by like swallowing it, internalizing it, and being the thing being reborn. And it's just like a story of the different parts and the different evolutions. I don't know. That to me was a little juicy and interesting. Maybe it's a possibility.